Nitro is the glory,
but E-Buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this grabbing racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NNRC Live Raw Nationals Recap with Mr. Lance MacDonald. I hope you guys are here. Please get this shirt out. We only got 24 people on here. We're not going to be on here for long. We're not going to keep Lance up for long because he drove all the way from Texas, to do this. But before I go on, I just want to say thank you guys for all tuning in. We got Poppy Shampoo, Danny Paz in the chat. He was supposed to make me a thumbnail. That didn't happen. But anyway, thank you all. Big shout out to the NNRC squad around the world. We can't do this without you guys. A big shout out to the patrons and YouTube members of the NNRC. You guys have been getting a lot of early release content. We greatly appreciate you guys' support. And of course, we have companies that make this all happen. We greatly appreciate their support. We have links for them in the written description of this podcast. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, maybe come over to the YouTube side and check it out. But a big shout out to our title sponsor, J Concepts, who swept the entire field this weekend at the National. So a big congratulations to them. It was a J Concepts sweep. A big shout out to High Tech RC, Sidewinder Fuels, Latera Racing, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Side Piece Racing, Get Shit Done Coffee, Elite RC Productions, RC Project, Mayako, Techno RC, Beach RC, Racecraft USA, and Clinics RC. A big shout out to our drivers, Mr. David Ronafalk, Robert Battier, Alexander Hagberg, Pecco, Even and Yuna, Hotman, and Mason Fuller, who did not have a good weekend at all this weekend. Very disappointing weekend for Mason Fuller. All right, we're going to get into all of that, but what we need you guys to do is share this out, share it to everywhere, and look at Charlie. Charlie McLance must be running on coffee and share. He doesn't drink coffee, which surprised me. In fact, we have a debate about this quite often on the road. All right, enough jibber jabber. I think we're just going to bring him in. Oh, we got to fix that. Lancelot.
What's up? How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm a little tired. Tired, but I'm okay.
So look at this. At Pecco, you should analyze who was fastest in the pits. He had a very good pit stop with Cav and got him to bump.
Yeah, he did all right.
Did you get to? Oh, but you met Pecco before.
Yeah. I met him at AMS. Power, whenever it was last year, year before last, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
I spoke to him for a little bit right before he even got started on practice day.
Sweet. Well, Lance, I think that was 5 weeks on the road for you?
I don't know.
Nationals?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a lot.
Did you have a week off between Ireland? No.
Yeah, I did. I think I took Mother's Day weekend off to spend with Stephanie for Mother's Day. So I took that weekend off.
All right. Also, I want to say a big shout out. We have our producer, the Ty. He's in the background. He's going to be bringing up all the videos and all that good stuff. So we do have a producer, so we can focus on all of this stuff tonight. Yeah. A big shout out to Ty. Let's help give Ty a tip. We are open. We do have super chats open, and he's going to get some of that. It depends how much you guys give this tonight. So we bought Lance one. We kind of wanted to keep it fresh. It was a very exciting nationals. The first time we've seen the combined electric classes and the nitro classes. I was very happy when I found out you was going. You went out there to help pit Trent and help me as mechanic. You end up being a pit man for many people there. Ooh. And it was good to see you at a track relaxing, because you was sent us pictures of you relaxing, even though it was hot, and enjoying just the RC part of it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went out there with an open mind and just wanted to relax and have fun, and I got to. It wasn't all business the whole time that I was there, so I really enjoyed it. I really did.
That's good, and I'm sure Trent appreciated it, because he had somebody to help him. He didn't have to sleep in a tent, which was his plan, which was hot. I don't know how he would have made that.
Yeah, it was, man. It not only was it hot, it was crazy windy there. The wind was very similar to like whenever we were up in the Midwest, man, just blowing nonstop. There were a couple of times I thought we were going to lose the tent, but luckily the screws held and we didn't lose it. So we were good.
Yeah, first time to this facility, right? Thornhill facility. What was your thoughts on it?
Great facility. The only thing that I personally would like to see is restroom facilities other than a porta john. They did a good job of keeping the porta johns clean. They serviced them twice while we were there, so that worked out really well. But there are some times I think that you especially for your ladies, you really need to have at least one working restroom. Now, if there was one, I wasn't aware. So if there is, I apologize, but to my knowledge, it was all porta john. But other than that, everything was absolutely amazing at the facility. They have everything that you need. They got a very nice tire wash station. Got a very nice compressor area that the compressor does very well. They have a good staging area. They have a good PA system that's in the track under the cover. Everything's good. Good seating, good tables. Everything worked out really well.
Yeah, it looks impressive. I've never been there. I'm hoping to go there next year for the World Championships. I'm planning on going there for the World Championships next year. But it looked impressive. And obviously, this has been around for quite some time. And we know Thornhill is one of the premier facilities in the world. It was, I think, the first nationals under a roof, too. I'm lying.
No.
Sorry, it's going to be the first worlds under a roof, but not the first national.
Yeah. They had world. Wait a minute, they had worlds there in. No. That nationals there. That two nationals, right? Two nationals.
All righty then. I don't know. The track was highly impressive. Maybe Ty can bring up a picture of the track. We all saw it. So I thought they did a very good job building this track. It was very challenging. We saw a lot of mistakes from these drivers.
Yeah.
The track changed a lot over the week. Held up great. Held up exceptionally. Did they do any type of work to the track at all throughout the week?
They didn't do any actual work other than just normal maintenance. They blew it off and put water down at night is all they really did. Then on mains day, they did a little bit of blowing the track off there, but they never put any more water down. The track was really, surface wise, was really good. It had a ton of traction. Man, it had so much traction. And the layout was very technical for a nationals. It rose to the level of the skill that was going to be racing on it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of people getting this second set of triples back. I saw Frankie make a lot of mistakes on that, on the second lane, third lane over, triples. That hip jump going out the back where they put up that cone.
Man, that thing was tough.
And then even just coming on the steps, it was, but these type of tracks are supposed to be kind of rough.
Yes.
Not rough, but hard to do.
Yes. It really showcased driving ability. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. The track builder was Ethan I can't say his last name.
Lefty.
He did a great job. Excellent job.
Did a real good job.
So from my look, it was really high traction for the E-Buggy mains, and it kind of grooved up for the E-Buggy side of it. But come Sunday, it looked like it went almost polished with a little light dust on it. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. And it was a tire. It was a tire eater. What was
Wheel
it ever? A
spin.
tire eater?
Was it just wheel spin, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you had that fine layer of dust right there on top. That would get kicked up and stuff like that. But it was man, that thing ate up some tires. It'll be interesting to see when Worlds comes what they do.
Yeah, so I remember if during the week it was very high traction, and the tires kind of worked when they were bold. I guess they were at one of the best when they were bold, and it was very edgy if I remember correctly. And then, as I remember, I was talking to Ty. He was like, "Cav's car looks like," he was talking about Cav's car. It looks like it's hard to drive. And then on that semifinal that they had, that's when I kind of noticed. I was like, "Man, this track is different. It's not the same." It reminded me of 2016. Was it 16 when Rivkin won? Very high polished, lots of wheel spin, and I think it threw everybody for a loop on Mains Day. Did it start developing like that as soon as the Nitro started, or did it wait until late on the weekend?
So this is my view of it. Whenever we got there on Sunday morning, I went to the track immediately, looked at it, and noticed that they did not put quite as much water down at night as they had done the day before. And Jason, the gentleman that was running the track, told me he was going to put down some Stay Wet. I'm not familiar with Stay Wet. I've heard of it before, but I have no experience with it or anything like that. He does. But I noticed immediately that the track was not as wet as it was the night before. So by the time we got rolling at 9, and then we were up right around about 11 o'clock when we were up in the 1/8 final, all the moisture was gone, completely, totally gone. And there was quite a bit of dust. Now the 1/64 finals and 1/32, they were way out of the groove, and they were really kicking up a lot of dust into the groove and stuff like that. So had to deal with that a little bit. And as the better racers moved along, they were kicking that dust out of the groove, and then they blew the track off, and it had that polished look like you were talking about to it.
Yeah, because when I saw that quarterfinals with Cav in it, I mean, his car looked like it was pushing like a dump truck, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, it's polished. And I'm thinking, and then we just talking in the chat. I was like, is it polished? And it's amazing how that track changed. I didn't expect that to happen with the Nitro. In fact, I expected it to be not as high grip as it was throughout the week, but definitely high grip, not as dusty. But I like it. It changed the track.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it did.
Well, I guess my next question, maybe what type of, obviously J Concepts won, but what do you know what tires guys were going on, or what were they doing?
So it was personal preference. It was a mix between pins and bars. It was a mix. Then there were some people that would go out on ghost pins and just let them naturally burn into slicks through the run. There were some people that went out there on almost total slicks, just very little tread left on the edges. We, for comfort level, was best with starting off with a treaded tire for us. Now I will say, man, the setups, I don't know if you talk to anybody about setups and stuff like that, but when I say everybody, I'm talking everyone was chasing setup all weekend long because the track was developing. I think Trent ended up at 80, 50 for diff oil. I know Mayfield one time was running 100K, 80K, I think is what they told me at one time. So it was crazy what they were trying to do to find grip and traction. It was crazy.
Yeah, I would assume that high diffs would have been not as great on the polished on that for the quarters and semis. They would have had it going on.
No, they if they went down, I was not aware. I pitted for Lutz, and I had asked him going into mainstay, you know, what he was doing for diffs, and he was happy with where he was at in his Kyosho. But we were chasing, the Techno team was chasing. I went over to the Associated pits. Everybody had their diffs and shocks all out. They were all rebuilding them after every run. Everybody was rebuilding them after every run. Works was rebuilding after every run. It was pretty intense. There was a lot of wrenching this weekend.
I imagine so. And man, we had some pictures of the tires that Tim Lime had put up. If I can bring them up, it was amazing what they had left. I mean, you could see the ribs of the inner ribs of the tires. And I could imagine on that type of track, it must have been so hard. And then, of course, the sidewalls start degrading, and it starts getting super edgy.
Lutz glued his sidewalls. He put,
really?
just like they do in carpet. Yeah, he put glue all the way on the sidewall to stiffen the carcass up, to stiffen it a little and give him some side bite. It's pretty crazy. Yep.
There's Cav's car. So I did find out that this is the prototype laid on shock nitro car that he was running. So I'm just amazed Cav made the final. I shouldn't say I'm amazed. I'm not surprised, but I am kind of amazed that he did. Is this Lime's car? Lime had a good run, very good run all weekend. He was fast all weekend.
Yep. There was nothing left of that tire right there. That tire's bald, man. That's Van Dalen there.
These guys are amazing what they can do on tires like this.
I'll be honest with you, Keenan. I don't know how they drove a full slick tire. I really don't. There was, like I said, there was this very thin, polished dust layer on top of the track, and I don't know how they drove on the slick. But then again, you know what? They're the professionals. That's why my ass was down in pit lane.
Dude, that makes the line so much. Look at Fend's tires. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. You see the webbing of the tire.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see when Worlds comes around, you know, what they do with the track, because there's going to be a lot more steady on track activity. And I'm not sure, somebody may have to chime in on this one, or you may know. I don't know if they're going to be allowed to do very much track maintenance, especially with it being covered. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Well, they allowed it in Spain. They allowed whatever, like say a jump, they would patch it with their glue mix or whatever. Okay. And they were allowed to do it. What my concern is that they're going to be measuring tires, but they said they could do pre-tech too. So we'll see, which makes sense. What's up, Brent? How you doing? We see you guys in here. We're going to go through the recap, and then I don't want to keep Lance in here all night because I know he needs to get some sleep and spend some time with his wife. So then I'll do some Q&A with you guys after. We'll do a little bit of Q&A with Lance. All right. Let's move on, because let's get right into it. The schedule, I talked to you a few times about the schedule. I completely forgot about the ladder mains and how difficult it kind of would have been. But it seemed like it was a very rough schedule for the electric side of things. But when you factor in the ladder mains, the IFMAR style mains, I understand why they did that now. So maybe you can give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, the schedule from the very first day originally was set up as 2 practice rounds and 2 seeding rounds. Then they just changed everything to seeding rounds. You know, I really wish they would have kind of left it as 2 practice and 2 seeding, but you know, it don't matter. I was shocked to learn that they were using a qual point system instead of best 3 consecutive laps that seed you. They took points from every round that seeded you into the qualifiers. So that was a little different. That's something actually new that we got to experience. Schedule, I knew going into it that the schedule was going to need to be fluid. In other words, it was going to need to be adjusted on the fly every day. They did a good job with that. making the right adjustments. I talked to Clayton quite a few times about some different things and suggestions and all that, because he's just not real super experienced on the off-road 8-scale side of it. And he was very receptive and made some adjustments and things like that, and worked out really well. But next year the schedule will be much better for everybody. I personally would like to see Etruggy be thrown in on finals day to help slow the day down a little bit. Is what I would prefer to see, to slow the day down some. You could run those Etruggy finals sooner in the program to slow the day down a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of people very rough and raw, myself included, but I really think the right idea was combining these two. We've talked about this many times, because the ENAT really doesn't get a good turnout, and it's not good for the track, it's not good for the roar, it's not good for nobody. Like this, it was a longer race by 1 day, because it started Tuesday, so you got to be there on Monday. But normally people were kind of getting their Monday night at a nationals and their Tuesday. I think it worked out good. Obviously, we talked. Some people were pissed off about the changing the junior final to the Sunday. I know it was your idea as well. I understand where people were coming from, and people having flights and stuff like that. But I also understand why you suggested it, or they did it as well.
Yeah. If they would have ran, it was originally scheduled to go off at 7 p.m. Now we finished qualifying, if I remember right, just before 5. Everybody would have done their wrenching and had left. I'll be honest with you, Keenan. I think they would have had a hard time even finding people to marshal the race. And that's not fair to those juniors that are racing that race, to have nobody watching, nobody paying attention. It just wasn't right. And I'm like, these guys deserve to be on the center stage. So
yeah, the young AJ Rodriguez kicked butt.
Yep. Yes,
He's
he
from
did.
Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
And
excuse me, just one moment. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'll be right back. Excuse me one moment.
All right. So while Lance goes away, I'll continue to talk. We got some questions in here. I will go on. I kind of want to wait till he comes back. Tell us in the comments what you thought about the track and what you saw on the screen. KP, I just happened to come across this live stream and sub. Thank you. If you guys haven't, please share this out. And if you haven't hit that sub, like, and notification button on the YouTube, please do that. We are accepting super chats tonight. So I think I have that posted up, or I think we can do that. I don't know. What does it say on the YouTube? Oh, we got Sodium Enriched Joe in the house. They had a race in Bermuda, which he came third. Congratulations to him. And congratulations to Marcel as well. Levi says, Ethan built an awesome track. Great job. Levi Jackson.
I apologize. Sorry about that.
No problem. All right. So I know a lot of people want to criticize Roar and whatnot, but I think it was well done. I think the only thing they need is probably more people there to help them out. Like, they need a bigger RMT, race management team. And we'll talk about that, because I showed you some incidents that I think that they missed, and they should have really, really caught these. So, but I applaud it. I think it's great. I think we get it out of the way. I actually think we need to go back to doing it in the 10 scale nationals as well. It's kind of difficult. Put it 1 year put it on dirt 1 year, put it on carpet the next year. And
I suggested whatever type of surface the Worlds is being ran on. That's what we need to focus on. If it's being ran on carpet.
I think Lance's internet dropped.
Oh,
usually it's my internet that drops.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I still here? Did you lose me? Uh-oh.
I think we lost Lefty.
Yep, I think we did. Uh-oh. Let's see if he comes back in.
He was just saying it wasn't his internet this time.
All righty, guys. I think Keenan may have dropped out. Let's see if he comes back in here in just a moment. I think I hear him.
Never fails. Every time I do a live, the internet drops.
Yeah.
I gotta you and have a backup system.
Well, Not everybody is dumb like I am.
That was a backup to the backup.
I do believe in. And you know what? Y'all make fun of me for that, but where were we at? It was me, Danny, and Patrick. We were up in Iowa, and they needed a HDMI cable. So we run to Walmart to get HDMI cable. I was like, hey, just go ahead and get an extra one, just in case. And by God, was one of those cables brand new out of the package bad? Yep. But hey, you know what? We had the extra one because I said, make sure y'all get the extra one. Yeah.
There
Y'all
you
pick
go.
on me about that stuff, but there we go.
I know. I believe in it. I believe in it. When he says he needs more, I don't argue with him. We don't need an extra generator. We need 2 extra generators. All right.
Yeah, back to as far as roar goes, from the beginning to the end, it was, to me, was fine. I was deep in the trenches the entire event, and it was, I have no complaints. I do have recommendations. When you bring up the referee side of things, and we're going to probably get into that a little bit more. I do think that unfortunately there was really only one full set of eyes on the track at all times, and you can't see all of that. So I do think they need an additional person whenever it comes to that, because where Clayton was standing trying to referee, he a lot of people had access to him and were coming up and asking questions. I know I went up to him and asked him questions in the middle of a race to get some info that I needed. So I do think I agree with you on that, Keenan. They do need one more person there probably.
It's not an easy job at all, and
No.
especially being a referee.
Yeah,
it's really not easy, and you need to have you need to have it in shifts, and you need to have that pair of eyes on it.
Yep.
So I'm not going to fault them for that as well. I'm just happy that we had a very successful event, no real hiccups.
Nope.
No, and it went smoothly, and everything went well. It seemed from the outside looking in. I know some people might have some complaints about things, but you're never gonna make. We all know we're never gonna make anything happy. And so I want to just say a big shout out to first the Thornhill crew for all their hard work. They did a great job, and I am looking forward to getting there next year. And of course, I am going to give Roar their flowers, because we give them their flowers when they do good. Well done, Roar, for making the decision to put all of these classes together and pulling off a very great event, good event. It looked great. I mean, I didn't really get excited till Nitro, to be honest. But let's recap the electric classes real quick. Obviously, Brandon Rose looked on fire right off the bat. Etruggy, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Etruggy is just becoming a really legitimate class. As people maybe don't want to admit that, but I know in the Southeast, when we go to our races, the races that we go to, Etruggy is a humongous class.
Dude, there were 54 E-Truggies and this is 54 E-Truggies after the no-shows were deleted. So there, that was the biggest. If there's one bigger, someone has to correct me, but I very seriously doubt there's ever been 54 E-Truggies at any Roar Nationals ever.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, some Roar Nationals, they don't even have a combined 54.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately. So that's great. And he won that. That was exciting. We thought we was going to see a Brandon Rose type of, he can go. I picked Brandon Rose for a Nitro Buggy, but we did see a chink in the armor of one of my favorite drivers, the Iceman. Without him, Mason Fuller, he did not make the A final in E-Truggy. And I was like, oh no, he's on the struggle bus, because he was on the struggle bus at the warm up too, to an extent. So I don't know what happened to him in E-Truggy. Did you hear anything?
I did not. I didn't. I was watching E-Truggy, and it was a little bit of a battle there for a little while, and then Rose just he was just on it, man. And what's crazy is I talked to Brent a little bit, and he said, you will not believe how close to kit setup Brandon Rose's E-Truggy is.
Really?
He said everybody was throwing, the dumpster at everything, trying everything they could, and he's out there riding around on near kit setup, and it was perfect. Absolutely, that truck looks so good.
I thought it was good. You know him. He's from Texas. He won that. Everybody I heard, I didn't hear it, but everybody seemed to be cheering for him. That's good. A home win for him. I thought that was really cool. And congratulations to Brandon Rose. Why am I getting his name wrong? B Rose, as he kind of needed that victory too, because he's kind of struggled a little bit on his AE, driving onto AE for this year, not getting the results maybe he was hoping to get. So I think it's a good result for him. And he did well. But that was the only person that was going to win besides Dakotah Phend, because he was, dude, I don't know. I was watching Phend in qualifying, and I was like, I don't think anybody's going to beat this guy. Like, even just in qualifying, I'm just like, he was on rails. He was on rails.
The only thing that was going to, let me back up a little bit, but in all reality, the only way Phend was going to get beat in Nitro Buggy was by making mistakes, which was very easy to do on this track. This track was way harder than some people realized how hard it was.
Okay. Hey, Mike Fuller. What's up, Team Fuller? Mason dropped E-Truggy and Caden dropped Nitro Truggy because it was too many classes to run. Okay. That makes sense. Unfortunate for Mason, man. I didn't pick him, so I didn't jinx him. I didn't pick him this time. And I just wanted, somebody said something about adding laps. So I just wanted to clarify that, because my buddy messaged me and said they can't do that. They actually changed the rule. You can add laps now.
Yeah, they can correct the laps whenever it was, because was it Tebow? No, I'm sorry. It was Van Dalen. Van Dalen missed a couple of laps right there at the end, and I was watching the scoring board. I noticed it immediately, and I was like, "Well, his transponder signal strength last time by the line was fine. It's not a transponder issue. You know, he may have been on the wrong side of the pipe and missed a loop there, but then he missed it again on the next lap because it was catching like every other lap. And then I was curious if it was a issue with a minimum lap time. Dakotah obviously missed one on that very last qualifier at the very last lap, had to get that fixed as well. And Dakotah, I asked, when Dakotah went up there, I told him, I was like, hey, you need to find out, because you can always check to see, you can look at the Dakotah itself and see if it caught the lap and it just didn't register on the scoring side of it. And apparently that's what had happened. You know, sometimes things just glitch in the matrix, but yeah, they need, there comes times where you have to do some correction. Now, if somebody's transponder just quits altogether, no hand counting. I'm still not that. Don't do the hand count thing. But if somebody misses a lap, you know, just fix it. You know it's legit. Just fix it. You know,
Van Dalen was fast too, very fast.
Yeah. He was pushing his stuff just over the edge. Like he would almost always get that, or right at the hot lap, but it's you know, that consistency. You got to have that consistency on a track that's that tough, because when you get marshaled, you know, you're going to get walked for about 7 to 8 seconds.
Yeah. So just real quick, our top qualifiers in E-Buggy were Phend versus Lemieux. Lemieux impressed me as well this weekend. And,
very much.
It ended up being the Phend, Lemieux, and Mayfield. So Phend took A1 and A2. Lemieux was second. Man, Lemieux did very well. And I think he's only been racing 8 scale since like last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did the Nats last year. And that was a good finish for him. But that was the start of Phend just kind of dominating from there on out. He went on to Nitro Truggy. And the Nitro Truggy race was great too. It was a very good race. And he just did, like, I think once Phend gets locked in loaded like that, unless something drastic happens, it's very hard to beat that man. Or unless he makes a lot of mistakes. Well, he did make mistakes in the Nitro Buggy, but
everybody did.
Yes, everybody did. It was just that track was so difficult, right? So difficult. So let's real quick. Our E-Truggy results was Rose, Mayfield, Phend. So Phend still got a top 3. Then we go on Nitro Truggy. It was Phend, Mayfield, and Wiggins. It says, I'm looking at my notes here. Wilson and Lime got shafted at the beginning of the race with some accidents, and Phend kind of had it in the bag and tried. He until Mayfield. You can never doubt Mayfield on in any of these races, dude. No. Even in Nitro Buggy, I thought he was going to catch Phend up in the last lap because he was
Mhm.
flying.
Mhm.
And it was an epic battle between him and Mayfield for the end of the Truggy race. You guys should go see that. It's a great race. And Ryan kind of threw it away when he went wide in the marbles, and he just kind of got loose and squirrely. And unfortunate for him, I talked to some people, and Mayfield was he wasn't angry. He was just kind of like, I threw it away. Like he knew he could have won. He probably could have beat Phend, but he threw it away. But we've seen these two do this so many times over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
So Wiggins with a solid third. That's a great run for Wiggins. Joey Bourdon, he got that's an E-Truggy. Sorry,
Wiggins got 4th in E-Buggy. Are we
Did
talking
it-
about
that was
E-Truggy
from
or
Nitro
E-Buggy?
Truggy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nitro Truggy, sorry.
Yep.
And then Fuller finished 8th, which I was shocked at. I thought he would be a little better in Nitro Truggy. Now that we found out that he didn't run E-Truggy, so I don't know, man. Seemed like Fuller was kind of on the back foot from the start here.
So I there were a mix of different things. Everybody was playing catch up on setup. In the heat, it was hot. It was very, very hot there. Some people were complaining about humidity, but keep in mind, I'm from Florida. I have real humidity here. What was out there in Texas was not. It wasn't humid. You know, if you can walk from your vehicle to the track and not be just drenched in sweat at 9 o'clock in the morning, that's not humidity. You know, it wasn't that bad. But the extreme heat that we were dealing with, it wreaked havoc on tuning. Havoc. There were a lot of people struggling with tunes, a lot of people struggling with mileage. Ryan Lutz could only go about 6.5 minutes. When I tell you in that last chance qualifier, we were on fumes. I don't know how that thing was still running. It was so empty when they came into the pits, and we filled him up in that last chance. But it was everybody was having a lot of problems with tunes. A lot of people were flaming out. I know they were pushing the issue, but man, it was tough. Everything about it was tough. The track, the tunes, the setups, everything.
Yeah, we could see that. We saw Phend. Well, he called a pit audible in Nitro Buggy where he did a 10-minute pit and then he came in earlier. I don't know why he did that, but I mean, he still was able to
he was empty. He was empty. He ran that long run and he was low because I was 2 guys down from his pit guy. And when he came in and I watched that fuel, I was like, oh boy. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, it was empty at that 10 minutes. So I'm glad they shortened him up a little bit.
It did, and we'll get into that. He did flamed out on pit lane too. But let's just finish off E-Buggy here. Like I said, it was Phend, Lemieux, and Mayfield. Then we had Wiggins and Bourdon. They finished top 5. At Bourdon, man.
Bourdon. Yeah, man.
Impressive.
Great job.
Great
job.
Young man. Been working very hard for many years and starting to get up into these finals and get some results.
Yep.
So,
they had a great run in E-Buggy. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had Rose and we have a note here. Rose and Sontag came together in A2, both having tough runs on top of it. I think after that E-Truggy win, it's kind of Rose. I don't know, maybe the pressure of winning the other one might have got to him a little bit, but he never kind of lived up to the E-Truggy win after that. Not taken away from his national title at all. That's a great national title. But man, I picked Rose to win Nitro Buggy. He let me down. All right. Let's move on to Nitro Buggy because I want to get through this and I want to get some questions and I want to get on a few things and I don't want to keep you here late. So in qualifiers, it ended up being the Phend show and it was Van Dalen in second and Mayfield. Me and Phend just kicked butt from the very beginning, right? Just the very beginning. I think Van Dalen, did he get a TQ as well? Or
He did. He TQ'd round 2 is what he did. Yeah, he TQ'd round 2. And I think he TQ'd Nitro Truggy. Didn't TQ Nitro Truggy?
Let me see here.
Or was it
it was Mayfield Rose.
Mayfield.
No, sorry, it was Wilson. Jonah Wilson
TQ'd.
And line.
Yep.
Wilson had bad luck. He flamed out while in second.
Dude, he flamed out. He broke. Just it was tough. I feel bad because I think I marshaled Yeah, I marshaled his Nitro Buggy, and it was kind of hard to hear. It was loud in there, and I didn't realize that. All I did was just quickly grab the buggy, just threw it back onto the track after that step on step off, and his motor head came loose, and when I realized that it wasn't going, I was like, oh crap, and I ran over real quick and grabbed it, and I was like, oh my god, it's running away, and I'm trying to get off the track and get out of the way, could keep from messing up somebody else's stuff and get his stuff turned off. I was scared the motor had blew up, and I was like, oh god, I feel like crap. But luckily everything was okay, and he was able to repair everything. There was no major damage.
Yeah, unfortunate for Wilson because he was fast, very fast.
He was very fast.
All right. So obviously, if you guys don't know how the nationals work, it's run IFMAR style. Phend doesn't have to run the semis. He got to run the practices. It isn't like that at the Worlds. You still have to bump. You have to race to get in. I'm mixed on that because at one point I feel that the person misses out on racing. Obviously, that didn't affect Phend at this point, but he still got some practice. But I do kind of like the rule. I think it kind of sucks when you do all that hard work. Like qualifying should be for more than just starting on pole when you're semi, right? I think it's a good move. I like it. I wish IFMAR would adapt it as well. Let him go run the 2 practice sessions, get that practice session in, and do it. I mean, we look back at Elliot Boots TQ the Worlds. He's the fastest guy there in 2012 and didn't even make the final. He broke in the semis, and they didn't have an LCQ. And that's another thing I want to bring up is that
way with Mayfield
I commend Roar for bringing in the EQ. Remember, and they didn't have it last year, or I think it was last year they didn't have it. Well, the year before, or the first. No, it was last year was the first year that Clayton did the nationals. Am I going?
No, I think I think this is the first year that they've done LCQ. I don't think they did it last year. Let me look.
No, they didn't, because I remember saying to Clayton, I said to Clayton, what happened to the LCQ? You shouldn't get another chance. You should be qualifying in. I said, LCQ is the most exciting 15 minutes of any race. But it wasn't that exciting, but it wasn't exciting as the World's one. But there was some great racing in those latter finals. Like once we got to the 16th and 8th finals and like quarterfinals, congratulations to your guy, Trent. He made his goal of making the quarterfinals, which I know was his goal. And also, I wanted to say shout out to my good young friend there in Texas, Joe Rodriguez. He made it. That was his goal. And to make the quarterfinals at a race like this, it's not easy, right?
No,
this is some hard racing out there. Some of the best that the USA have to offer.
Yeah, it was. So when we bumped up into the quarterfinal, man, I was looking at the names, with David Olson and Julian and Jermaine Robinson and Tyler Finster, and I'm like, oh my God, we really got our work cut out for us. And I would like to, before we go too far, I want to give a big shout out to Nate Sutherland. Nate Sutherland has only raced in a small handful of 8-scale races, period. And he showed up with a fairly new, I think a brand new car, most definitely a brand new motor, and had to break it in while he was at Nationals and made the quarterfinal, raced it into the quarterfinal. So congratulations, Nate Sutherland, on a job very well done in qualifying and making the quarterfinal.
He made the cut too for the Worlds, I'm told. So he will be racing in the Worlds next year.
No,
yeah, that's what I was told today.
No, only your top 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was told that today. I don't know how true that.
No,
was.
it's only your top 30 that make the. I've got the final results right here. I'll pull it up real quick. It's only your top 30 that are here. Yeah. Yeah, it's just your top 30 that make it. So anybody that makes the semis that are locked in. If you don't make the semis, you're not locked in. I'm looking around.
Nate did make the semi. So there we go. He did make the semi.
He did make the semi. He's 27th. So yes, he did. So he is locked in for Worlds.
And I gotta say this, because if JQ sees this and I don't say it, yes, it was a Mayako, people. He was running a Mayako. He is running Mayako, Schumacher Mayako deal. All right.
Alex Richards was kind of like his mentor on this thing, and they, like everybody else, man, they were working hard on setups.
I saw him. Every time I saw this guys, I felt for him because it was hot in there, hot and for that exhaust and everything good in there. I love nitro, except when it's hot and exhausting like that. So we had some great quarterfinals. I got an incident from the quarterfinal we're going to look at. Cole Ogden bumped up from the quarterfinals, which was good.
One of the best runs that Cole's had in quite a while. So congratulations to Cole Ogden for making the final.
Absolutely. It seems to always show up at these type of races. He's very good at nationals. He's very good at a world's race. Okay, he didn't have the best worlds last year, but this type of racing, the IFMAR style, really seems to suit him. And it's a lot of racing, right? So he did good. He had a lot of people think he hacked this pricing, but he didn't. We slowed it down. It is not a hack. We're gonna get Mr. Your opinion on that as well. But as we go into the semis, so coming out of semi A, you had Mayfield, Wiggins, Fee, Rifkin, Cav, and Horn. Great run for Horn. Great run for Cav and Ernie. These young guys let Cav get into the final. And then in the other semi, we had Sontag, Van Dalen. A great run for Sontag. Unfortunately, that he broke on the very first.
Yeah, golly,
that's very unfortunate for Sontag.
Yeah.
He had some potential, He won his semi. Van Dalen, Tebow, Rose, Lemieux, and I gotta say, Lime was fast all freaking weekend, man. All weekend. Well done to Camden Lime. Flowers to him.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I see Chase Lemieux and Camden Lime within the next 2 years, probably winning a national title. Because Cam is working very hard on his program, very hard, and his skill level is catching up with his wrenching is catching up with his skill level and stuff like that. And I see Camden winning a national title here in the next 2 years.
Yes,
and obviously the way Chase Lemieux's racing is, I mean, he's there,
Yes, and out of our LCQ, we had your guy Lutz that you was pitting for. I know you was nervous.
Yeah. Oh,
and then we had Ogden. Unfortunately for Frankie, because Frankie was fast all weekend, right? And he kept making that mistake on that second triple, and just unfortunate for him. He was also on a broken ankle. I didn't know that as well.
Yeah.
So that must have been hard for him, but unfortunate for FCJ. He was definitely fast the entire weekend. And let's actually. Do we have that? We'll bring up the incidents afterwards. I see Ty's got them ready. So that completes our finals. Lutz and Ogden. I really love the LCQ, and I think it needs to stay. I like that 2 people bumped up too. I think it's great. And hey, the veterans got up there. They know how to do this type of racing. So let's get into the Nitro Buggy race, because when it started, I was like, oh man. It's gonna I think for the first half hour, it was the Phend show, right? It was just out there. I was like,
he was on cruise control.
He was on cruise control, and I was like, man, this is gonna be one of them boring races, where the guy leads for the whole 60 minutes and that's it. But I think I don't know the exact time, but I know around the halfway mark, he came in, he flamed out in the best position ever.
Yes.
And those guys got him refired and back out there, and he came out right behind Mayfield, like not that far. He was only about maybe 3 or 4 seconds behind him, and then him and Mayfield just went at it for the next 30 minutes. Finally, over that triple, and he crashed. That's when kind of Phend just said, "All right, see you later." But I mean, Phend made a lot of mistakes too. He hit that cone, that cone of death. That took out Sontag, but it was a good race, man.
Yeah.
It was a great race. It went from being what I thought was going to be a runaway to be a very challenging race. And even I wasn't even sure if Phend was going to win it at the end, because he kind of looked like he kind of just went on cruise control the very last lap. But Mayfield was he was pushing hard. And kudos to that man. Dakotah Phend was the fastest guy pretty much all weekend, and he kicked ass on a brand new platform. Everybody was doubting. Everybody was saying, what is he going to do? And what's going to happen when he gets on the X-ray? Well, he's winning. Exactly what I thought was going to happen is happening. He's winning. And the whole X-ray team looked good. Lemieux, Sontag, and him all look good out there.
What's crazy is I'm looking at it right now. On the 95th lap, which is the white flag lap for Ryan Mayfield. He turned his fastest lap at a race. You don't think that man was wheeling out there in that dust on a set of slick tires, and he turned his fastest lap on his second to last lap. Man, he was going for it. You know, he was really doing everything he could to catch Phend, and just come up second and a half short.
Yeah,
was able to hold on.
It's called. That's why I call it a relentless one. And I was like, if Phend makes a mistake on this last lap, Mayfield's going to have him.
He's got him.
Congratulations to Phend. Yeah, congratulations to Phend. Congratulations to X-Ray. I think we're seeing what Phend can really do. You know, it's got a team that wants to go out there and compete and win and do well. He's got Jacobs and stuff. He looks comfortable, happy, and he's only 28. Like he's only 28. He's still got a long career ahead of him. Hopefully, I think this is a great demonstration for him. Great win for him. Great job by Phend. Congratulations to him. And dude, we're gonna see him again at Wicked Weekend.
Yep.
I don't know how these guys are gonna beat Phend. It's gonna be very hard to beat. Very hard to beat.
Yep. Yeah, he's without a doubt. You know, he set the bar when he was with TLR. It was him and Mayfield, and it's still him and Mayfield. And you know, you and I have said this a few times. A lot of these cars, these manufacturers there's really not a bad car anymore. All the cars are high quality, you know, got proper adjustments now that they can set the cars up depending on whether it's pillow ball or if it's cast or it's C-block, or you know, it's really interesting to see how well Phend just quickly just grabbed that X-Ray car and just right straight to the top of the board. And it gets back to what our conversation had. You know, all these cars are really good. All of them are. So
it's just about having that support behind him and wanting to do well. That makes a big difference.
Did you know that Chicky tore his hamstring and had surgery 2 weeks ago? I didn't know that until he showed up. I'm like, well, what are you doing on crutches?
I saw him on crutches. So that's what happens when we get old. You know, we start turning tendons and stuff we don't know that we had.
Do you know what he did?
No.
So he was old man feeling froggy and decided to foot race some people around the track. And he tore his hamstring doing it. It was probably, he said it was about a month ago that he did it, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, man, if you got this thing torn, we got to do surgery and get this thing fixed. And sure enough, he had to have surgery.
Oh man. Well, I hope he gets well. I have my winners and losers here. I have brands. I have X-Ray Sparko as winners.
I think I lost you.
Even though I didn't really make the final. Oh, I'm back. What's up? All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's froggy, janky. My winners and brands. I have X-Ray Sparko as winners. Because even though Sparko might have not have made the final in the A final for the Nitro, they had Jonah Wilson and Lee Sets were good all weekend, in my opinion. I have S-Works as medium. You know, I was expecting Mason Fuller to be up there. Captain Lime saved S-Works this weekend. He did well.
Yeah, he shined.
Yes, he shined very well. Obviously, winners is Phend. Obviously, he won. And I think I hate to say this because he's my favorite racer, and I really like him and his father. But Mason Fuller, unfortunately, was the biggest loser this weekend. And I think he has to kind of shake this off because he comes off that sweep at Silver State. I'm sure there was lots of pressure coming on into this. He has to shake this off. It's a nationals. He's got plenty of nationals left that he can win. This is probably his worst nationals finish in a long time. And he just has to, you know, he'll be all right. He's the Iceman. So I don't want to.
It's growth, man. You're going to, from these hard times, you're going to grow and you're going to learn. So you have to take your lumps. And we all can't be at top of the leaderboard all the time.
No, we can't. But at least he made the semis. He makes the worlds next year, so he'll be there. And then he just has to work. he needs to shrug this off at Wicked Weekend. I'm very much looking forward to Wicked Weekend at the end of July, which we will be at, which will be the next installment when we get to see these guys racing. But absolutely, I agree with you. These are the times that we'll test you and as a driver and see where you go. All right.
Let's get to the meaty part, man. Let's get to the good stuff.
Right.
Come on.
So I said I had some incidents to look at, and people are going to get mad at this because I know they like this driver. But I think he should have got a stop and go. And if he would have got, he could have got 2 stop and goes. And if he would have got him, he wouldn't have made the final. So Ty, bring him up. Let's bring up the Cole Ogden incident first, if you have it. Let's see. Ty, our producer, he's going to bring up, because a lot of people were mad at Cole Ogden for this. But I don't think Cole Ogden was. I think he was.
Is this between Cole and Drake?
Yes.
Okay.
So Drake's car looked, I didn't know it was Drake's car, but anyway, bring it up for me there, Ty. Drake's car looks different. No, that's not Drake's car.
That's not Drake. That looks like Tebow.
No, I think that was Rivkin.
Oh, it's Rivkin in front. Oh, okay. I see what it is. I see Cole coming to the inside. I see Rivkin. Well, Rivkin went wide and then he turned back in. So Rivkin blew the entrance of the corner, and then he turned back in on Cole.
So a lot of people got mad at Cole for that, but Cole was in the right. He didn't do anything wrong. He was correct.
Didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, you can clearly see that that Rivkin was. Well, hold on. Can we back that up just a hair, maybe? Can we go just a little bit further back? Yeah, he's wide. Like he's right on the edge of the groove. So, and Cole's on the inside of the groove.
Oh, sorry, that's Ethan Mechanic. Sorry. That's who it was. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. But this was for position. This was for bump position. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Taylor. Yeah, I think. Oof.
So that was Ethan Mechanic that he got into?
Yeah.
You know, we have the joys of having instant replay where we can, or not instant, but replays where we can slow them down and speed them up. I
saw that, Ashton. I forgot to talk about that. I saw him hit Ashton too.
Ashton Abdul?
Yeah. I saw him hit that. I can't read in that same quarter, but I forgot all about it. Thank you for reminding me. But in that incident, I don't think Cole was wrong. I think it was unfortunate, but I don't think he had to stop for that, in my opinion. If I was a referee,
did he give them? Did he get a stop and go for it?
No, he actually bumped up. He bumped up into the semi.
I gotcha.
All right, so now this is the controversial stuff, and people are gonna be upset because they like this driver. Bring it up, Ty. This happened in one lap. Can we make it bigger? There we go. Let me get rid of this. So we do it in fast. There's Fee and there's Rivkin. Boom. Punted Rivkin off the track. So then he goes, there's Cavallari. Cavallari's trying to hold him off. And then he takes out Cav her. Boom. And we have this in slow motion. We're going to bring it back up so we can see it in slow. So here's Fee coming in.
All right,
there is clear contact.
Ty, can you slow that down? Back it up and slow it down just a hair. Now, did Rivkin hit the curbing? I know the ticker is the scoring is right there. Did he hit the curbing? I think he might have hit the curbing. No, maybe he didn't.
His front wheel did hit it, but he was on the inside.
Yeah, he was definitely in the groove, and I mean he got hit straight up in the rear. So yeah, it's that probably should have been a penalty, honestly.
And then he clips Cav.
So it looks like he over jumped. He just and landed into the back of Cav. I'm looking at this on my phone. It's quite small, so
I'm sorry.
Hard to tell.
I think these are both I think these are both incidents that he has to wait, right? But he didn't.
He definitely should have waited on Rivkin. He should have gave that spot back to Rivkin.
Yeah, Rivkin one was clear. This one could be debated.
Yeah, I can't see that well enough here where I'm at to give a judgment call. But that one Rivkin, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Bob Thomas says Van Dalen ran into Mayfield, but Van Dalen jumped off the track and ran into Mayfield by mistake. And like when he did that back double coming on like before the steps, so he jumped clearly off that, crashed and landed in front, and Mayfield was going full tilt and crashed into him. That was not, I mean, yes, Van Dalen should have jumped off the track, but he didn't hit him on purpose. He fell off the side of the track. But I like Bump. I mean, in the end, it worked out for him for not stopping because he didn't get called for it. And that's why I think we just, like you said, you can't see everything. Mm-hmm. And they don't have, I think they need to start bringing in video like this at some point. But I think one of those incidents, definitely the Rivkin incident, should have been called on fee. But he got away with it. He kept on going. And he got away with it. So that's my opinion on that. I know a lot of people don't think it's going to be a popular opinion, but I think as soon as I saw it because I saw it live, I was like, man, Bump is aggressive. I knew you got to be aggressive, but he bumped right into those guys. Yeah. So unfortunate that he did bump up. But those are my two incidents that I got to see, and I wanted to talk about. I don't know what you guys think in the chat. Maybe you can put in some let us know. And I'm glad, man. It looked, hold on, here we go. So we have some Little Bump should have Jason J. Mac McAllister. Little Bump should have had a stop and go for that. And he knows because he said in his interview he wanted to stop, but his dad told him to go. I said it to another guy, and they called slower drivers for that rough driving. Well, if the referee didn't catch you, I don't know. Did he do the right thing? He got into the final. But
I keep watching. I switched over to YouTube real quick, and I'm watching this take place. Why was he so slow on the first bump, on the first incident? Why was he so slow through the corner?
Who, Rivkin?
Yeah, I'm looking at it again right now. So he is.
Oh, hello, John. He says Rivkin slowed down too much and he got bumped. I'm not shooting that.
That's you're coming on the exit of the corner. Fee had a much faster line because he was a little wide, so he had a much faster line going in through that. But man, Rivkin was extremely slow going through there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, we can debate this all day long. This gets back to the RD side of it. So I can tell you, I have been on both sides of it where one would argue, well, the guy stopped in front of me. I thought we were racing, not follow the leader. The guy didn't go. We're exiting a corner and he didn't go. Well, that's a legitimate argument. You're exiting a corner, and if the guy in front of you isn't got a good line, doesn't carry the speed,
he says,
I'm not touching that one. I'm
gonna have to message him and ask him what that's payback for.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I'm not.
It's
moving on.
Oh, it's hard. If I'm Rivkin, I'm pissed. I mean, even worse, we've watched it a few times and we can't come up to a clear conclusion. But it was a little rough. I will give it that. But maybe something happened earlier on that caused that. I don't know. I wasn't there. But hey, he got away with it. I think he got away with that one. But I think if Stetson would have saw that, who's the referee, I think over in Europe,
he'd have called it. He would have definitely called it. Yep.
He would have called it.
He would have been an extremely busy man this past weekend. They were letting the guys race with their elbows out.
Yeah.
I will say that. You had to do something very blatant to get called out.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. But sometimes you get away with it. And he got away with it that time. And maybe that was, like you said, John said it was payback. So something may have happened in there. We need more info. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know what else you could ask for, Sean Rusi. I was not there. I mean, his father just timed in. Just like Maradona.
I don't What is that?
Maradona's an
Explain.
Argentina football player, and
Okay.
so he has a very famous goal from the 80s. Argentina won the World Cup, and it's disputed to this day if it was a handball or not, because his hand was like her, and it got a goal. So it's like a disputed thing.
I got
What
you.
about? I mean, Lance was there. He just told you what he said. I mean, you can't see all the races. Details.
Yeah.
Ask John. John, what was it payback for? There we go. Tell us in the chat. We'll ask the man right there.
If you're
Maybe for
asking me,
John Drift
would I have issued a penalty on that? You know, as far as the RD goes or referee goes, we don't have the luxury of instant replay. We don't have the luxury of replays being slowed down where you can watch and watch and watch. We just don't have that. We got to make a split-second decision off of something that happened in a tenth of a second. So would I have issued something? Probably. At this race, I probably would have. So, but I'm not the RD, and I'm not the, yeah.
You was
Bob
just
Thomas
a pit
says
guy
little
that
bump.
weekend.
Yeah. Me? Yes, that's all I was. And I have not pitted anyone since 2017. My son quit racing in 2017. Actually, I think he might have quit racing in 2016. It might have been 17, but I have not pitted anybody since then. And I was talking to Trent about it. I don't think I have ever pitted anyone right-handed. Like you have to catch a car with your right hand. I'm used to catching it with the left hand. So that was all new to me as well. I sucked. I could have done better. I'm sure a lot of people seen the video and like, God, this guy sucks. Yeah, well, yeah, I get it.
You're too hard on yourself. You're too hard on yourself.
Man, I flamed out Lutz twice. We flamed him out once in the final, and I flamed him out once in the semi. I put too much fuel in the gun and put too much pressure on it, and idiot. I'm stupid. Sorry.
Hey, he still made final and he got a 9th. I think that's a good result.
Well, if we wouldn't have flamed him out in the final, he would have got 8th.
Okay. Well, I still think you did a good job. You pitted a lot of guys. You was busy.
I did.
You was on screen a lot. And you are right. I heard Bump, and last time I saw him, his voice was getting deeper. Now his voice is deep. He's like, he's tall. He's got a different haircut.
Don't tell his dad, because his dad may not know this yet, but Little Bump's bigger than his dad. Like me and Ryan have seen him and his dad standing kind of way off to the side. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that he is taller than his dad.
Jerry Climber says, I think you're safe, Lance. I can't see Ryan mad at you.
You know what? When I told Ryan, I was like, dude, I'm sorry I screwed up. On that last pit stop, we were in the semifinals. Man, I was all nervous. My hands was shaking, and I was like, oh, don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Because I literally told Ryan on the headset, I'm like, here we go, buddy. Money stop. Here we go. We got this. And I screw it all up. I didn't know what to do with my hands. Like I had to grab the pull tab twice. And oh God, it was so bad. What a ding dong.
Hey, you helped them. Hey, they didn't have no guys to pit them. So you did a good job. I think it was a good Nats. I think I can't wait till weekend. It's going to be on. We have a few viewers coming over as well. I think JC3 is coming. I think JQ's coming. Becca is coming.
Well, Max will be happy if you've got Euros coming. He'll be very happy.
Max and his triggering posts.
God almighty.
You know what, though? It's going to be very interesting next year because, everybody was like, hey, it's going to be an American style track, but it's going to have jumps like an American style track. Dude, I think I talked to Ongaro.
We're going no matter what. I'm telling you right now, we're all going. Me, you, Danny, we're all going. Hey, even if we ain't working, by God, we're going.
I tell you what, man, it's something. So for people that knows out there, there's only been 3.
I've lost you again. All I heard was 3.
Man, my internet's janky. Am I back?
Okay, you're back. Here we go.
So there's only been 3 worlds in the USA: 2000 in Vegas, 2008 in Charlotte, and 2016 in Vegas again. So this is, I think this, it always seems to have a little extra excitement when it's in the USA because it's so many people trying to qualify, because USA has the most spots because USA is just one country, right? It's considered one country compared to everybody else. So they have, it's so good. Like, people go to this race with a mission. I want to qualify in the top 30 to get to the world. This type of nationals has so much more at stake for it, right? So I was telling my buddy, I was like, hey, if you don't make the national hurdle, you can always go up to Canada. They got 11 spots, and you can go race up there if you can win up there. I was telling Mike Walker that. I told Mike Walker, I said, Trey could go up to Canada, and he could go try and beat those guys up there and win, get in. But it is for something, and I think it's going to be a very special Worlds next year. It was very special back in 2016. Anytime you get the best of the world coming over to race, I mean, we're going to have a guaranteed race. We're going to have to work, okay, unless it rains sideways.
No. Even if it rains sideways, you don't have to worry about it. They've got the screens up on all the way around the track. It'll be fine. What little bit of moisture may come through there is going to be minute.
Okay, I can't wait. It's going to be good. I love the world.
We're going. My God, Lefty will be at Worlds. We'll all be there.
All right. Let's see. Anyways, both bumps wasn't intentional. High speed racing. Fee got his bad luck too, and ended up on a bad note. Where did he end up? Where did Fee end up finishing, John?
Let's take a look here. I got it up still.
You know, we're not got nothing.
10th overall.
That's still decent. I mean, it's not what you want. He said finished second last year, didn't he?
What is Fee? 13, 12, 14?
Yeah.
He's 14 years old. You know, I mean, I don't care who you are. The best drivers in the world are going to make mistakes, you know, and he's racing at a very high level at an extremely young age. I mean, how could he not be a favorite going into Worlds? You know, he's going to be one of the ones that's going to get mentioned.
Absolutely.
You know,
and you know what? I think he should keep the pink wheels. Absolutely should keep the pink wheels. I love him. Keep him. No. He's going to make the Worlds anyway because he can.
Yellow wheels are faster. Yellow wheels are faster.
I mean, he can represent either Vietnam or USA.
Yeah,
that's true.
He can. Yeah.
Lance, I'm not going to keep you too long. Do you guys have any quick questions for Lance? We saw one here earlier, and it was about putting LCQs in Sam Arsenal. Do you think LCQ could be applied to more large events like Race Time or Florida RC Championships? But we have bump ups.
Yeah, we have bumps and LCQ. I don't think those race days are already long as it is. I know it's only 15 minutes, but in the big scheme, it's 20 minutes. So it's just 20 more minutes of track of main that's got to be added in. So I don't see it being added in. I don't.
I have a question because people were upset about this. Bump ups in the electric classes. Is it?
That needs to be added.
Okay.
I told Clayton, I was like, it needs to be 10-minute finals for all the electrics, 10-minute finals, and there needs to be bump ups because there's no race, 8-scale race that's not held anywhere that they don't have transfers in the electric classes.
And you know what? I'm glad you got you were very communicative. You said your words, I was fair but stern with roar. And and that's good. I know they came to you for some help and whatnot. That's good to see as well, kind of mending some bridges there. It's always good to see that. And I really have nothing to really complain about I think they pulled off a very good race. I think they did a good job. The other thing I would like to see, you know what I like to see? I would actually like to see the junior final be like official. I don't want to hear it be an exhibition race. I want it to be like, yeah, you are the fastest under 15 in the USA. I mean, they are, but I want it to have a little bit more sentiment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like actually mean something.
Yeah.
I mean, it does mean something, but mean a little bit more.
Yeah. I personally, so I had a radio in the pits, and then I was also working in different areas trying to do my job. I never really heard them call people to the track. All right, guys, we got our junior final. It's our future. You know, everybody come to the track. Let's cheer them on. It's 15-minute final. Da 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 da. You know, I really wish they would have pushed that a little more than what they did, because I just didn't hear it. Sorry, I talk with my hands. Sorry, but I really wish they would have push that more than what they did.
Yeah, we need to, right? Because we need to encourage these young racers to race. They're there. I mean, there is a difference in competition. Like that kid AJ was extremely fast, you know.
Yeah.
But it would also probably get more people, more youngsters coming out to race at these events as well. Oh, Salty Joe goes, what's up with Live RC and Speed One TV? So that's where I think they did the last year of the Visions race. So they actually called the 1 hour main like it was going to be for TV. They went to commercial breaks and all that stuff.
That's
now,
correct.
I have to give them some kudos. They the beginning of the races, they were having a lot of problems. They took a long time to set up. And you were saying that their Starlink kept blowing over. They said they went out and bought another Starlink. They hooked up 2. They got it done. I was happy with the Nitro racing. It was good. I enjoyed it. And I think they did a good job. I know it's not easy. We do it all the time. And I think they did a good job. I know everybody was upset with that. Was it in the Nitro Truggy meme and the producer? So you probably didn't see this, but the producer, like it was the battle between Phend and Mayfield and Truggy, and the producer clicked to another camera, like right as something happened, right as they hit each other, right? They came together.
Oh no. Yeah.
And everybody's freaking out in the chat. And I know because Danny's done this to me, right? And I am mentally like, effing Danny off. Like, what the fuck did you do, Danny? Like, we're right in the middle. He's done it to me, but it was actually a mistake by the producer. But I think they did a good job. It's a long race. And it's a hot race. So that's very wear and tear on the equipment and all that type of stuff. We know all about that. And I'm just glad we got to watch. It was a lot of people watching too, man. It was good. It was a very good week of racing. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you was there. I saw lots of people that were happy as well. Of course, some people weren't happy, but at this type of race, it's about really testing and seeing where you are at. Big shout out to my good friend, the Mullet Prince, Larry LW4. He made the quarters and I think he came 4th in the junior final.
Yep.
And just good. I would agree. We need to hype up the junior final a lot more. Put some more
emphasis on it. Yep.
And let's stop calling it an exhibition. Let's give them 30 minutes. We got time. Give them a 30-minute main.
Well, I would like to see the Masters come back.
Oh, so a 40 plus?
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, because we need just a little bit more time for the guys that are in the LCQ. They need a little more time to get their stuff ready. Like it was a major thrash session for the guys that bumped up. Now, granted, they didn't have to marshal, but they still, man, it was tough. Like it was very short time to get your stuff ready.
I saw that.
It'd been nice if they would have had a 20-minute or 15-minute 40 Masters final or something.
There we go. That's it. And of course, that's going to get people, and that's great. So I just want to say, I think it was a very successful nationals. Well done to everybody involved. Congratulations to Dakotah Phend. 3 wins. Impressive. Adds to his national title. He's got to be up like 35, 36 now. And
Dakotah Phend?
Yeah.
Dakotah's 43, I think, or 40, something like that. He's in the 40s.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive. Oh, so they're not. So Jerry says it's not guaranteed to be on Speed One or whatever. They made the video to sell to them for broadcast. Okay. But
I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime.
Okay. But they will have commercial. So they explained all of that before they did it too. So like, yeah, we're going to call it and do it like this. It was good. It was good. Long race to call. Any more questions before we let Lance go? I'm going to hang on for another 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to let Lance go because he needs to get some rest and spend some time. Lance, thank you for your time. Thank you for helping out all the racers. I'm sure they greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you. We'll see each other at Wicked Weekend. That's our
buddy.
Sounds good. I think Wicked Weekend's gonna be bigger than last year.
We'll see. We'll see, man. It's a pretty big race. I would like to say before I go, I'd like to say congratulations to Dakotah Phend on 3 of the 4 titles this past weekend. Congratulations, Brandon Rose. Great work from everybody. A lot of work at Roar. Y'all did a fantastic job with the event. I know this was a first time for managing that many entries and that much going on. Y'all did a really good job. Made the adjustments when they were needed. You were open to suggestions from from many different people, and if it made sense, you went ahead and implemented it. So it was great. Clayton and them did a really good job. Congratulations.
Awesome. I my sentiments as well from the outside looking in. Lance, get some rest, buddy. Thank you for
man.
your
Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great night. Don't give Keenan too hard of a time, and y'all debate the fee thing until you're blue in the face. Y'all have fun with that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
All righty. Took myself off of there. I'm not going to stay on her too long. I want to see the mechanic and Abdul mistake as well. So maybe that's somewhere in the quarterfinals. All right, guys. Do you have any more questions for me while we go on? So the Euros are going to be starting next week. Sorry, not next week, the week after. So that's going to be in Barcelos. So if you like the Nationals, if you follow some European racing, I'm not going to be there, but they're going to, it's just Nitro Buggy. It's in Barcelos at the track that I've been to in Portugal. It's a glue track. They are making some changes. It's where the E-Buggy Worlds is going to be as well. So that starts the first week of July. So that's a good race to watch. Last time it was at this track, last time it was at this track, David Ronefog won it with the Mayako. So, oh, shucks. Salty Joe, he has a question. Yes, sodium enriched Joe. Good job to you guys at your race. Good to see you on the podium there. And the young kid, Marcel. Tommy Rushton, Thornhill crew killed it, and the build and getting TRC ready. Yes, I am. I will tell you this. Last week I was like, man, I really want to be at the Nationals. I love the Nationals. I wish I would have went, but I'm enjoying my time home as well. Sean Reese says, I hope Renault Savoy gets the MP11 for the Worlds. Oh, you mean the electric version? Yeah. I hope some Americans come over to the E-Buggy Worlds. I really do. Somebody's going to want to be the first E-Buggy World Champion. I really hope they come over. Might not be appropriate on this. Is it something to do with me? Nobody's got questions? You guys don't want to talk to me? I saw one question. Where we go? Danny Paz, I have to ask. I will save the dates. Who you got to ask? Ethan Lefebvre. I'm sorry, dude. You built a great track, dude. You built an awesome track. Well done. Well done. Jerry Kez, what about Ben Humphrey's runaway in the junior? I heard that. That thing was singing. I don't know if he blew an engine or not. Patrick Rossler, Lance, pick me at Callahan, have Gene call a race. Gene, Mike dropped already at Tallahassee. Jeff Coons, Lefty, are you going to let Pet co-feed, live feed with you at Wicked? Yep, probably. We've done it before. We have done it before. Lefty, you need to drive Truggy at Thornhill. I mean, at the Worlds, there will be no Truggy. So just be Nitro Buggy. That track's too hard, dude. I would fail that track. Came off at 400 degrees. I bet you he did. You got to ask your Jessica. Of course you do, Poppy Shampoo. LaFave. That's easy. Good job, dude. Great job on the track. Patrick Rossiter, do I need to get your Truggy ready for Wicked? Absolutely. I might race it, but I'm definitely going to practice. Forward Racing, are you still doing your virtual series? I am not, but there's quite a few going on. There's two going on right now. I know that Slowest Fast RC podcast, those guys are doing one, and Levi Jackson is doing one as well. I actually recorded with Ryan Styles Harris again this last week as well. That podcast is going to come out in a week or so, and we got into that why I actually stopped doing the virtual series. It's really a lot of work, and this guy right here, he makes all the graphics, Danny Paz. He's a busy man. I couldn't even get a thumbnail from him today, and it also Mike Fuller was helping me out as well with doing the points and stuff like that. I ran into some problems with the intermediate and the sportsman stuff that I explained as well. Forward racing. I have some ideas. We should talk about it if you're interested. Absolutely. It's just a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. And also with the INS, the focus for us at Elite was on INS this year. So Danny's been kind of busy with that, and Elite guys are busy. And, you know, you can blame Danny Paz because he's so busy. What's up, LW4? Proud of you, man. Good run. Good job. Good job, buddy. Thank you for the videos, too. So you guys saw me posting those videos. My good buddy, LW4, was making them, doing them for him. Forward entry. You're awesome, and you're going to change the industry. Nope, I'm just a guy who talks too much. I want to plant the seed. We want to plant the seeds for the industry to change. We'll probably not see them. Hopefully, I'll see them in my lifetime. We got 95 people on here. What do you guys? Instinct RC. You are catching the end of the stream. I am really trying to get the SOTA guy on. They're very not good at replying messages. I realize he's 14 hours ahead of me too. But you did a great review. Go check out Instinct RC on YouTube. Give him a sub, like, and notification. Click. He did a great review on these SOTA shocks. I actually was talking to who was telling me they're running the SOTA shocks the other day. Salty Joe was telling me all about it. He was he's very impressed by him. Nikki, I will see you at Wicked. Wicked is really my favorite race time event. I love Wicked. I hope it's sunny this year. All right, 4:20:15 on the track. Is Ty still with us? Ty, do me a favor. If you go on the stream and we go to,
I've already been looking for it. That's the incident we already reviewed where Ogden hit Mechanic. It was Ogden, Abdul, Mechanic all having a really close race, and it was just some bumping, and it was literally that incident we saw there. Abdul didn't hit anybody. It was Ogden hitting a Mechanic in that corner we already watched.
Okay, so did Ogden get mad at you, Ashton, or something? So if not, let me know. But that was a rough race. You almost bumped up, dude. I was like, if this dude makes the semis, I'm gonna be so happy. Good job. Good job. Everybody, say thank you to Ty. He's been silently in the background doing this stuff. I'm trying to have a producer on. We're trying to get him some super chats. And so Mike Fuller says it was before that. I remember it was Ashton battling with somebody.
All right, well, I have it pulled up. Let me get it.
Yeah, he says 4:20:15. Ty. Everybody say a big thank you to Ty. Let's get some super chats going so we can give him some money for his work, his hard work. Good job, though, Ashton. You almost got it. I thought you was going to get Cole at the very last corner. I was like, send it. I almost send it. All right, so we got something here. Can we make this full screen, Ty? There we go. All right, so Ashton's the blue and white car. Right behind him is Mechanic. Ooh. Okay. So you spun out, Ashton, it looks like. Let's see. Is there another incident? And there's Cole behind you. Okay, so this is when Cole comes up. Oh. Well, he got that back. And there's Ashton. He's the second car in this line. Mechanic in front. So they come down the stairs. Ooh. Dude, you guys were having a battle. One second, guys. Let me see. I remember there was an incident. Oh, how did you guys not get into each other? Okay, there's that incident. Mechanic jumps off the track. Ooh, what a great block pass by Cole. Dude, you came so close to getting that. So what was the issue? Let's go. I think he's talking about the getting loose issue. Let's go back to that. Can we zoom on that? Let's get back on her. So let's get back to where they made the mistake. We'll put this full screen. Let's see. There's Mechanic. There's Ashton. Dude, you got some motor in your car. So maybe we'll slow it down. It's going to happen her, Ty, I think. Ooh, hold on. I see what you might mean. So we're doing this live. It's a little not as good. There we go. Oh, yep. Mechanic took him out. I don't know, though. That was a little... I think he should have waited. Let's see. So he comes up. Yeah, he hit you. Sorry, he did hit you. He should have waited. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. Now that he hit Ashton. He hit you, Ashton. Unfortunate for you, buddy. Unfortunate. I like Ethan. I don't think he's a dirty driver. I just think he was overzealous. And he probably should have stopped for that. So let us know what you guys thinking that. He kind of a couple of corners later, he got hit by Cole. But I think he went way out of the line. We already examined that. So that's unfortunate, Ashton. He should have waited. That comes down to the referee. That's why I was saying that Raw needs more people there. They need more odds. They need to have more than one referee. To be honest, it's very hard to be a referee. And one of the best in the world is the guy Stetson over in the UK. He should actually be training these guys how to do this type of stuff, I think, because he's really good at what he does. Yeah, it was a racing. Should have waited. No penalty, racing incident, but he also took him out. Yeah, I would agree, Instinct RC. I think that he should have waited. You got taken out, Ashton. And I don't, like I said, there's nothing against Mechanic. I think he's an awesome person. Him and his dad are good people. But he should have waited. So I have a question for people who were there. Were you guys able to protest things? Was you able to protest things like that? I heard that Cavallari got failed for stinger size. His diameter of his stinger was too wide, and the diameter was too much. It had to be 8 millimeters, and they didn't let it cool on or whatever. I would agree, RCX. He should have waited. We do apologize, Ashton. You are right. You have a reason to be upset. But good job of making the quarters, dude. You almost made the semis. Dude, you almost beat Cole Ogden. Did you ever think we'd be saying that? And you're not even racing as much or as hardcore as you used to race. Good job. I've known Ashton Abdul since he's like 14 years old. He just graduated university. So well done to him. He's a very smart young man. Jerry K, kick his ass, Seabass. Any more questions? Let us know what you guys thought of the Nationals. Did you think it was great? All right, here's the killer. What do you think is going to happen next year if the Euro is coming over? I'm not going to lie. This kind of works right into Ongaro's favor of what type of tracks he likes, in my opinion. Especially when they got polished. He loves those polished type of tracks where he can drift around and do all that stuff. Whew. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to beat him. Yes, Instinct RC, he says, I can't believe drivers were running on slicks halfway through the nitro mains. Yeah. With the traction less than what it was throughout the week. Pretty amazing. LW4, are you going to the Worlds? I am going. Dude, the Worlds is awesome. If you guys can go, even if you can just go to watch a Worlds on the weekend of the racing, it is an experience that I think you have to go see. If you can go see it, I'll never forget my first Worlds experience in 2022 in Spain at Redovon. And I remember looking I was way up on this tower, right? And I remember looking on Sunday, there were it had to be a couple of thousand people there. They were milling all about. They were like there was beer gardens. Around all the fence was full of people. The pits was full. And it was just awesome. Like, it's an awesome experience. And that's when you see real speed, right? You see real speed, because these guys are going faster. The world is something different. Like, it's a different thing. It's you see it at the Nationals, you see it at the Euros. I'm not saying you don't see it at these other bigger races, but when you have the rules and regulations that these type of tracks have, it kind of, I think that's the first time I've been to a race and I felt like I was at a full-scale event. You know, it was just amazing. We had spectators, right? And yeah, Mike Fuller, you was there. You guys were out in the sun. Funny story. So the Spanish put all the Team USA guys like on these rickety ass tables and right in the sun. 2024 was not the same as 2022. So it was good. What's up? Jeremy goes, oh snap, I just found your podcast last week because of a shout out at the Nationals. Love it. Awesome. Thank you. We got a lot of episodes. We got a lot of audio episodes as well early. Check us out on Podbean and all that stuff. Mike Fuller. So I feel for you guys, man. I'll message you. You know, I never lose hope. I know Mason's the Iceman. He'll probably come out and win Wicked Weekend now. Sweet Wicked Weekend. Because, you know, you can never doubt the Iceman. Good job to Caden, too. He had a good weekend, too. They tried to bake us. They did. Was it hotter in Texas than it was in Spain? Jerry K, if LW4 makes it, I guess I'm going. You should go. And it's going to be a little cooler in September, October. Can't wait. I cannot absolutely wait. But yes, so I am going to the E-Buggy Worlds to do NNRC content. So JQ was adamant about me doing some NNRC content at some of these races. So I was supposed to go to IBC. That got postponed. And then I was supposed to go to the Euros, but RC Racing TV has the people there. So I decided to just go to the E-Buggy Worlds. So I got to go out and get some. Oh, my hat's dirty. I had a dirty hat this entire time. Huh. I got to go and get some funding for it. I'm trying to get Max there. And we can do what we did at what you did at the Worlds last year with NNRC content. I'll probably also be working with the streaming. But yeah, I'll be going to that. My next race that I'm going to is Wicked Weekend. And then I'm going to the INS race at Omaha. So that should be good. And no, before JQ can shut it. You'll meet JQ. Are you not coming to Wicked Weekend? Right. That's right. You guys ain't coming. Greg Holland. Bet your ass we bet the words. Hopefully we can make the race and not just be spectators. Well, in order to make the race, you got to go up to Canada now and go race it. All right, Jeremy, off-topic question for you and the chat. Getting back into RC after 20 years, can't decide between an SET or E-Buggy. Is SET growing or slowing down? There's support for both locally. You should get an E-Buggy because SET is actually, unfortunately, not as popular as it used to be. And you should get yourself a E-Buggy. And if you're going to get a second vehicle and you don't want it to be a Nitro, get an E-Truggy. Mike Fuller, it's actually hot on the track. Very weird. You would think that it would be cooler with the roof, but it's not. Interesting. Now, if you have popular SCTs at your area, then of course you should go for it. But SCT is not as popular as it used to be. Nowhere near. But E-Buggy is huge. It pays the bills. Robotech, E-Truggy is the new SCT. I would have to agree. E-Truggy is slowly fading out Nitro Truggy. Joey Fisher, you should definitely be going to the 10 scale worlds. I would have liked to have gone. I am actually trying to work out something because Will is going. He's going to race. So we're trying to get some money to help him go as well. And then he could do some NNRC content, but I gotta see how it goes. But I would love to go to the 10 scale worlds. I would love to, especially now that I'm all geeking out on 10 scale. Jeremy says, I was leaning towards E-Buggy after seeing a not a ton of support for SCT from suppliers being eyeballing X-ray. So if you're going to run SCT and it's 8 scale 4x4 SCT, then Techno is probably the best one out there. But yeah, E-Buggy is huge and probably the biggest class that you're going to have. So get an E-Buggy. I don't know what's going on with my internet this weekend. Well, it's everybody's home watching internet. Not her, but around the area. So I think we still might even, Max and I might do an in-depth review of the Nationals. I'm not sure this week. Hold on. Hey, Calvin Bruce. He goes, sorry if you have already mentioned, just tuned in a few minutes ago. Do you know how many qualified to the worlds? We haven't anything that's on a certain top 30. So I remember back in 2016, the USA got extra entries. And they actually had a qualifying race at the Worlds to get into the race. That would be cool to do that again. But I think it would have been top 40, but they took 11 of those entries and gave them to Canada. So the Canadian Nationals go up there, get top 11, you got a ticket to the Worlds. Gene Hickerson didn't make the Worlds, and I don't know, back in the 2000s or 90s, I don't know, probably in the 2000s, he didn't make. LW4, I don't know. That's still saying it's top 30. He says it's 50. It's in the US. I don't know. But then we got you know what? Lance says it's top 30. He was in Roar, so he might know. I know it was 50 at one point or 40. So I don't know. And this is the type of race, when it's in the USA, it's never empty. Okay. So Mike Fuller says, Raw does not have a definite number yet. We texted them and they said 40 or 50 with 10 or so going to Canada. Okay. But is it going to be 10 from the 50? So then it makes it 40, or is it 10 from the 40 that makes it 30? That's what we don't know. Robotech says, I still and love racing RCT. I want to build an 8 scale short course. Ooh. Speaking of techno, they sent me something nice that I'm going to reveal here shortly. It's on the way here. But it's not racing. It's so many rumors. Greg Holland says, today I read it's 47 from the US. Yeah. Nobody seems to be getting a straight answer. But as of now, I'm just going with top 30 because I know Canada has some spots, and those spots. So I will explain. I was actually going to make a video about this. I still might do it. A Lefty simple thought. So how it works is, so Raw is North America, so that includes Canada. And I think this is the first year that Canada's had spots for their Raw Nationals. So so because USA North America is basically two countries, so you got to think so the Euros that are happening not this weekend but the following weekend, they actually do not qualify you for the World Championships. That's why you see a lot of these European racers, they go and do their national series race to qualify for the Worlds. So, for instance, each country in Europe gets an allotted amount of spots, but it's not 30. Like Italy might get 8 spots. UK might get 10 spots. It depends on the population of your country. And that's the only place that gets a lump sum of spots like that is the USA. And the host country, whoever's hosting it, because Spain had a bunch of people as well. But even in Asia, it's not the FEMCA. The FEMCA does not qualify you for the Worlds. In FAMAR, which is like South America, Israel, all the other countries that don't fall into the other organizations, they only get those amount of spots, right? So that's why you see these pro drivers always constantly participating, and they have national series out there. So for World Racing, just throwing out an idea, why not have a championship race in each state and have a nationals? Well, because it's just very hard to do. They can't even really get people to go to Raw regionals. They don't have enough regional reps, and there's so much racing going on, right? There's so much racing. I would love for the regionals to be a way to get to the nationals, but that's like when people say, let's have a national series race. Well, give me, find me dates. Find me dates to have 4 national races done by Raw, and then we'll see if that can happen. It's very hard to compete against all the other races that are out there because those are all big money, big contingency races for these top guys, right? So, but I mean, it's feasible, but they need more regional reps and all that type of stuff. Death Grip RC, on-road guy with no horse in it, any of this, but really enjoyed the podcast, being here for a few months and listen to this while I wrench. Thanks and keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. I have a couple of on-road podcasts with Hagberg and a few guys. So I would love to see a series, but it's a lot harder said than done. Actually, we talk about this on my latest podcast. Thank you, Death Grip RC, for the support. Man, my internet is not good. Only one person from each state would go. Not sure what that's about, Mike Fuller. LW4C, Lefty, hope to see you at a race again at some point. Yeah, I really enjoy the trackside crew. They're very nice people. I had a great time up there. And at PMB, thank you guys, because I never went hungry. That is for sure. I really appreciate that. Good group of community RC racing going up there in Wisconsin. I absolutely had a blast at trackside and gotten to know LW4 and Kyle, the gingerbread man, and Jerry and Larry the Third, who is the chipmunk, who says Nitro is the glory. All right. Do you guys have any more questions? Do you guys want to really like science mode recap with Max, and so he can piss people off? Did you guys see Max's comment at the end of his post? He did a good post. But it's true. He says, let's see what happens when the Europeans come over. He's European. So he's going to root for them. BJ, thank you, BJ. He was keeping us all informed with the stats. He also, good stuff for you, man. Phend may become a dynasty unto himself at this point. Not at his X-ray. The world is his oyster right now, dude. If each state had a qualifier per state. Okay, yeah. Yeah. It would be, that would, yeah. I'll tell you what I think. Oh, sorry. I saw that LCRC had a good race too this weekend. Are you coming to LCRC this season? I mean, people have asked me to come to the Mugen Challenge, but I think the Mugen Challenge is the same week as the E-Buggy Worlds. I love LCRC though. Beautiful place. Taylor DeLoso of the Slowest Fast RC podcast. Go check them out. Give them a sub, a like, and a notification. I'll recap. I know Max wants to talk about this. So we're going to, for all the science mode guys who like Max, going into science mode, we're going to talk about this with him. So that would be good as well. That's when we go into the real, he goes into all the lap times and that guy's brain. Yeah. And I let us turn to blank space like that. Blank space. All righty. But like I said, we have the Euros coming up, so you don't want to miss that. And then, of course, the next big time we're going to see all the Americans get together. And then I know JC3 is coming. So that means Robert's probably coming. JQ, not that that matters. Pekka. Of course, I want to see my good buddy. I think I want Ongaro to come to the USA so bad. So bad. He actually said he might come on the podcast, but I don't know. That was another incident that I want to talk about. I want to rehash that with Max because I have another way of looking at that now. But no, unfortunately, no LCRC for me, but I would love to get up there at one point. Don't let Max on the plane. Oh my goodness. One day if you ever heard me referring to Max and his aggressive activism, it happens to do with a plane. Robotech Nitro SET kit, please. So, no, that's not what it is. But they have built one. Spencer Heckett has one. It's pretty badass. Pretty badass. Alrighty. Well, we got 92 people. Dude, the Nationals was good. And I am glad a lot of people went and experienced it for themselves for the first time. I really, because I honestly, when it came down to the electric nationals, I really didn't pay attention that much. But I mean, in previous years, I've watched it, but it didn't really get me going as much as this does. So I really hope that this continues. I think it's good, and I think they did a good job. Robotech Nitro Froy built the first race. I race with him every weekend. Oh, okay, Nitro Froy. Okay, he must be a YouTuber or something. Yeah, I'm sure there's been plenty. There have been plenty. C. Dudley, how you doing, good buddy? Are you coming? You guys coming to Wicked? Tell your son and tell Sonny I said what's up. Salty Joe, the last worlds was one of my favorite RC trips. Yeah, we were staying with Salty Joe, and between Max and I snoring, it was pretty loud in there. But Salty Joe had noise canceling earphones on. Sam Arsenal, Lefty, you should come visit Charlie Mack and the gang at Saratoga RC. I would love to come to a lot of these races. It's just about being, hello, Scotty. Good job on the call this weekend. Thank you. I know it was a long weekend. You guys did a good job. Had to overcome the Starlink issues. We know all about that. And it was a good nationals. Good nationals. I hope to see. I really liked how you guys did the commercial, film it, record it for. Hopefully it gets on the Speed 1 TV. Well, I say TV, but you know what I mean. So, and I saw something I shouldn't have. Did you see me naked, Salty Joe? I can't remember if you saw me naked or not. Scotty, what is the next? Oh, ABC in Australia. That's coming up next for you, isn't it? In the next couple of weeks. So I really want to come to the Philippines race next year. I'm going to try my best. That or I'd like to go to any of the rounds of the ABC finals. That's the only successful 8-scale multi-country series going on is the ABC, the Asian Buggy Challenge. They participate in Indonesia, New Zealand, Australia, and Philippines. So I want to come to the Philippines badly, and Indonesia. Both look like great places. I want to get to Asia. We need to run that race back. Which one, Teddy? It wasn't you. It was on the laptop. I don't know. I can't remember. Did you see my porn stash? I don't have much porn on there. Couple of years. I'm super behind in video, but as an owner of an RCT84E, it's a fantastic platform. It's a very happy truck. Oh, so you're back on when we was talking about the box setup of Brandon Rose's car. Oh, I remember what you saw. I remember what you saw, Salty Joe. I remember what you saw. It wasn't on my laptop. I remember now. That was a good trip. Yeah, so a big shout out to you, Scotty. And are you going on to participate to Chile at all? Because Cache is a beautiful place. I think it's the 8-scale, it's the GT Worlds, and I think it's the 8-scale GP Worlds, the two different dates that have been happening in Santiago, Chile. And it's probably at the best RC facility I've ever been to. Like, it's huge. It has a go-kart track. It's mostly airplanes, so it has like a couple of flying fields. It has a 10-scale off-road track, an 8-scale off-road track, and probably the biggest on-road track I've ever seen. It has a boat pond. It has you see just people wheeling out $25,000 jets, flying them around. They have people rent containers that they keep all their stuff in. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. The only thing, it's kind of far out from the city, so it's it's nothing really around there. So you have to drive back and forth to Santiago, which is about 45 minutes. But it's nice. Very nice. Big, long straightaway, like I think it's like 300-foot straightaway for on-road. Them cars are going to be singing. They had the GT Euros this past weekend as well. They had that. Was it this weekend? It was this weekend. They had the Italian race this weekend. No, sorry. They had the GT Euros last weekend. Then they had, did they have it? I can't remember. No, they had the GT Euros this weekend. Then they had the Italian race this weekend. Yeah, there's a lot of racing going on this weekend. RC is good, man. Racing in RC. A lot of people complain about it not being as good. Maybe in certain areas, but worldwide, I think people are racing more than ever on a worldwide scheme. You got to look outside of your local area. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of local areas struggling. I mean, look, I don't have a track. I have a one-road track. I have a one-road car, though. I need to fix it. So, you know what? That's what I wanted to do. If anybody out there has Traxxas/Platinums, so I have two, and I've won one years ago, and I've had it calibrated and bound up to my Futaba 3P 4PK, and I unbound it and on the other day, and I cannot get it bound back up. And then I have a fairly new /Platinum. These are all stock Traxxas electronics. They don't come with receivers. And I'm trying to bind another and calibrate the everything, and I cannot get nothing to stick. It's getting to, I wanted to, once for my daughter, once for my son, and I want to go out and have some fun with them. And I cannot get them to calibrate, and I cannot get them to just work. And I tried, and apparently it's even harder with Fly Sky. And I've done all the buttons. If you know how to do it, let me know. Maybe I have to keep doing it. I don't know. Tim Barf, 8-scale nitro sucks up her. I said in your areas, there's various different forms. Not everybody's area sucks. I don't have any 8-scale nitro at all. Cody Dudley, send me a message. I got you. Thank you. Robotech, I came back to RC for Nitro SCT. Disappointed by options. I ended up with a Nitro Buggy. Still, my Nitro Slayer is more fun to drive than my 4K Techno. It just breaks all the time. My 2 cents. Yeah, Nitro is the glory, but an E-Buggy, and I don't think you're going to see Nitro SCT. You'll see electric, because even myself, I don't want to run a Nitro SCT. I would, but if I'm going to have a short course truck that's 8-scale, I want it to be electric. I'm not even I don't even have a Nitro Truggy. I have an E-Truggy because it's just so much fun. Dude, if you drive an E-Truggy, you'll thank me later. Go drive an E-Truggy. And then you can say, Lefty, it was awesome, because it is. Make gas truck again. Great again. Awesome class. Teaches you how to drive. I have a bunch of gas trucks up here. My Ignite RC Design gas truck is being built by SJ Race Builds, Gene Strout Jr. Big shout out to Jimmy Woodley. Jimmy Woodley just bought out some Nova-based 12s that he's been working very, very carefully with the factory over there in Italy. And he's come out with a 3-port and 5-port 12cc gas truck engine at Classic RC Company down there in Florida on the Panhandle. Derek V, Salty Joe, throw it against the wall, says Salty Joe. No. I'm not doing that. Alrighty. So what do we have races? We have Wicked Weekend. We have Euros, Wicked Weekend, 10-scale Carpet Nationals, which I'm going to be geeking out on. I have INS. Then we have E-Buggy Worlds. Then I go to Peach State Classic, which is a great race. Then we have the 10-scale Worlds. That's the big enchilada. I want to go to that. I really do. BJ Will, do you think you'll see some juniors on the come up? There were some fast juniors in the under 16 race on Sunday. I would like to see, I don't know how we could do this, but it will be cool if, I don't know. we can't have another race, right? But it would just be cool if, like we said, there was more emphasis on the just make it official, right? Make it you are the junior, but make it official. Don't make it an exhibition class no more. Just make it official, right? When are the Euros? The Euros are the last weekend of August. Oh, the Euros. Sorry, the Euros are not this weekend, but the following. They start on this. Let's see. I will let you know right now. They start the second or third. So not this week, the following week. And they have made a track. I was talking to Joao today. Why am I speaking Spanish to you guys? So, and he said they made they're making a track change. I know for the Worlds, they are making a mistake. Sorry. Martin Wohlhunter, your son's coming to Wicked Weekend. JC3 for the win at the Euros. So in 2022, he TQ'd all the runs and he cut his foot, and that cost him. I don't know if it cost him a win, but it definitely. One second. So we shall see. Sorry, I just responded to some messages. My little girl. All right. Well, I don't think we're going to have any more questions. You guys like these lives, but I like doing Lefty off the records. So this one was about the Nationals. I want to say a big thank you to Lance MacDonald for his time. I know he's tired. He needs to spend some time with his wife. I'll see him shortly. I look forward to Wicked Weekend, seeing everybody there. A lot of the Bermuda guys are coming up. I'm looking forward to. Don't forget to bring me some Dark and Stormers, all right? All right. Barry Rowe, where am I from? I am from Bermuda, but I live in the Dominican Republic. So you might hear my accent is a little wonky. It's like English and American and a little bit of island twisted in it altogether. And no, Bermuda is not in the Caribbean, as many people think. It's actually in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, that happened too last weekend. When are you coming up to Idaho for the Drake gas truck? Man, I would love to. But it's about time and money. Barry Rose says Tuckerstown. No, Tuckerstown is the uber rich part of Bermuda. So one thing people don't know, Bermuda is the most expensive country in the world. It is the highest cost of living in the world. If I lived at Tuckerstown, I could do everything in RC. Ross Perot and those guys, well, he's dead, but Ross Perot had he's like, there's Salty Joe builds houses out there. They build $40-50 million houses out there. Bermuda's the most expensive country per capita in the world. But Tuckerstown is even more expensive. It's like the only gated community in Bermuda. No, I'm from St. David's, which is down the east end. So you see where Tuckerstown is? I'm on the other island over that way. Were you land on the airport? That's where I live. Not in the airport, but that island. I appreciate that, Ryan Knight. Free place to stay. How was the gas truck nationals? How many gas trucks did you guys get up there, by the way? Barry, have you been to Bermuda? I take it. You know a lot of places there. Somerset Bridge is at the west end of the island. That's dockyard and all that stuff, where the cruise ships come in. I used to work up there. That's where the prison was. I was a prison officer. All righty. Tim Yantes, just wanted to shout out to Ethan LaFave. He did build a hard, amazing track. Very hard track. Very hard track. All right, guys. So I want to say thank you guys for your support. We greatly appreciate it. Please, if you can hit that sub, like, and notification button on our YouTube channel. We're on the road to 8K. We are at 7,076. Let's get that going. I'd really like to get that going. Also, if you guys can do me a favor and go over to my Power Wheels podcast. I know maybe you guys ain't into that, but if you have some kids and you're into that, they're into Power Wheels. They drag race those things and all that type of stuff. And I have a podcast dedicated to that. So if you guys can go over there and hit that, I'd really appreciate if you guys can go over there and hit that like, sub. Even if you don't listen to it, just go over there. Well, I would like you to listen to it. If you like drag racing, there's some good stuff about drag racing and all that stuff on it. Hit that like, sub, and notification button. Help that grow. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. He said over 100 classic. Oh, so it's a classic race. 100 classic RCs, 70s, and over race for stock 22s to cap the weekend. Wow, awesome. I am trying to get a former NASCAR racer on this podcast who is now racing RC. He's going to the vintage race in Vegas. So we're trying to get him on there. What's up, Weldon? How you doing, buddy? He says, okay. We have to listen again? What are you talking about, Salty Joe? Barry Rowe. He's been to Bermuda. I was on my tip. I forgot what I was talking about. So if you guys like these lives, let me know. We'll do some more. I might try to do 2 a month. Or if we do more than that, maybe so. I'll get some guests on her. You know who I want back on her? My good old friend, Bartholomew Baker. Everybody loves to hurt Barry Baker. I need to message him. He's not even doing RC no more, apparently. He's probably happy, though. He's happy that Dakotah Phend won. I know he did. Robotech says, couple Veers. I came back to RC recently, interested in Nitro SCT as well, and was disappointed to find there is Traxxas, debating on getting my hands on a Hobao Hyper SS Buggy or Hyper SST to make mine. Own Nitro ST. Yes, Power Wheels Podcast. Look that up on YouTube. Power Wheels Podcast. Give me a like, sub, notification. I want to get that up to 1,000 subs. And it's, dude, I'm starting to unlock a whole bunch of different doors in that world of Power Wheels. I know that sounds crazy. If you got kids, you want to get them to some cool racing and modifying stuff, Power Wheels is the way to go. I should have Barry and Dagani on. That would be awesome. So my dream podcast is Dagani, Jeremy Quartz, Chad Bradley, Ashton, and then I'll throw in a Barry there. But I don't know if I can control all those guys. That's too much. I don't know if I can control them. That podcast would be demonetized quickly. I'm pretty sure. So it will be good. Have a great interview of Ryan Styles Harris coming out. I have a interview with Maurice Lattenbach, which is very interesting as well. And I am trying to get Ongaro on. I'm going to message him tomorrow. See if he's willing to come on, because I really want to talk to Ongaro. What's up, Mike Lopes? Hope you're doing well. I was just thinking about something the other day. Oh, man. You know what? I was giving Tater some shit the other day because he was in Michigan and he got his ass handed to him by some local racers there. They're fast guys. He got handed by Mike Legee and oh man, the name of my no pro. I know his name. Rinky. Michael Rinky. And those guys beat Tater straight up the other day. But then Tater was really good at the Nationals. He was really good. It was unfortunate he broke, right? X-Ray is good, man. X-Ray is now kind of doing what they're doing in 10 scale this year. So X-Ray is on the move, man. They're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do once they hired Phend. Ooh, I know there was something to talk about. Hold on. Ty, you didn't even remind me about this. We have a little silly season blessing, but you got to look deeper. Who saw that Mikhail Orlowski joined FX Engines last week? My silly season spider sense went nuts when I saw that. Everything that heard over the last few years started coming together. Don't be surprised if it happens. And no, I don't think Schumacher is building a 1/8 scale car. So who saw that? Oh shit. What's up, Jeff Keaton? How you doing? I do still do these things once in a while. You guys want to hear some rowdy podcasts? Go listen to the ones that he was involved in. They were rowdy. Him and JQ. Audio only. Thank goodness we didn't have video back then. What's up, Jeff? Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, what do you guys think about Orlowski? Go to FX Engines. Is this a sign of things to come? There have been rumors aplenty about X-Ray wanting to get him in their stable. He is an accomplished 10-scale racer in both off-road and on-road. And there has been many rumors for many years about that happening. Yeah, Sam Harson, I hope Schumacher puts a car out, but what? No, I don't think they would. I think it would be silly for Schumacher to put out a car right now. Good times, Jeff. There are some wild times, that's for sure. Man, we were rowdy back then. Uber ride. If you guys want to hear the early days of the No Name RC podcast, they're all up on Podbean and Apple Podcasts on audio only. We started doing video like after 100 and something episodes. And that guy was involved in them with JQ, and it was no holds barred. In fact, I have a whole rant that I don't think ever was going to be released from Jeff Keaton. Even JQ said, no, we can't release that. I have yet to see, Sam Arsenault, I have yet to see someone run FX and not be running X-Ray as well. Well, there you go. There you go. We're putting 2 and 2 together. There you go. Out of all the engine companies that Orlowski could run, he runs an FX engine. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You must be, I hear you're all corporate these days. Nah, you must be talking to JQ. He calls me corporate and Salty Joe. We're just not as, we got radical when it's time to get radical. But a lot of things have changed in RC, Jeff. Since those times too, a lot of things have changed. So Jeff was a part of an old podcast called Loop is Live, and that was Bobby Moore and Jeff, and they were radical. And then we had On the Turn when Mark Santamaria, before he was YouTube Mark Santamaria, he was On the Turn Mark Santamaria, and they used to get radical. And then I remember watching those two podcasts. It was those two podcasts. Radio Impalm podcast is another great podcast. It's with Jason Rona, Kirby, and Gotti. They have lots of great interviews with lots of people, lots of good guys. That was the first ever podcast I listened to. Got me into it. And then these guys, Jeff, Lupus Live, they used to do live shows. There was a big Lupus Live versus JQ battle for many years that went on. It was good times in RC, but lots of things have changed since then. He says, I hear you're all corporate these days. You know what? Even corporate's changing a little bit. They're embracing the drama. They are embracing the drama. Alrighty. Well, it's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. Ty's been tirelessly doing his producing. We got 82 people watching. But I want to say thank you guys for all your support. We greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like notification button. We have links for all of our sponsors in the written description of this podcast. I want to say a big thank you to J Concepts for all their support, as well as High Tech RC, Sidewinder Fuels, Latera Racing, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Side Piece Racing, Get Shit Done Coffee, Elite RC Productions, RC Project, Mayako, Techno RC, Beach RC, Racecraft USA, and Clinic RC. A big shout out to our new sponsor, Dollar Hobbies. So you can go over to Dollar Hobbies and save 10% by putting in promo code Lefty as well. So a big shout out to them. I was happy to have them on board. If you like what you're doing here, what we're doing here at the podcast, you like what I've been doing lately, been putting out a lot of content, shorter content. I hope you guys like that type of stuff. It gives people a chance to go to chapters and just, not everybody has 2.5 hours, 3 hours to sit down and listen to a podcast. So the quick clips, and yeah, we're putting in a lot of work for that. We're celebrating RCGP Driven Episode 1's 5-year anniversary. I know you guys saw me drop a RCGP reel today. Like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm just saying. I want to thank you guys all for the support. You all have a good evening. We're going to do another recap with Max, I'm sure, on some RC news this weekend. And honestly, thank you guys for all the support. I am enjoying my time at home with my family, but I'm also looking forward to getting back to the racing at Wicked Weekend. That'll be the next race for me. I look forward to thank you, Robotech. He became a member. You can become a member. You can support this by becoming members. You get early access. Zach Noah, how you doing, buddy? Back, good to see you back racing. You're on X-Ray now? Thank you, Robotech. I appreciate that. Yeah, for $1.99, you can become a member, or you become a patron too, and you get early access to these podcasts. So we greatly appreciate you guys' support. None of this is possible. And we're going to do NNRC content at the E-Buggy Worlds. So everybody should be happy. Max and I, hopefully Max gets there, and hopefully we can raise enough money to give some money to Will so he could do some NNRC content at the 10 scale Worlds. And we could get together. Anthony D, what's up, Mr. 5 Laps? Or fly like an eagle? I heard you said you're getting a Nitro Buggy. It's about damn time, because Nitro is the glory. Don't get discouraged. It's a lot to learn. Thank you, Jeremy. You have a great one as well. You guys all have a good time. Thank you for all the support. I greatly appreciate you guys. If you want me to do more lives, just let me know. And say thank you to Ty. Everybody say thank you to Ty, because he's been there monitoring all this stuff. I greatly appreciate his time. He took time to get these videos. We're going to work on getting Ty. Are we going to get call-ins going?
Yeah, I need to work on that a little bit more, but yeah, we can get it going soon.
I think we're going to work. So our next live we're going to work on doing some call-ins. Wheel and Trigger does them. I love them. We used to do them back in the day as well, but it's really too much for me to handle all on my own. So we're trying to figure out how Ty can do it and just bring people in and out. He's virtually producing this, and it's going to be like quick 2-3 minutes for you guys to talk, and then we keep on going. Oh, by the way, Brent pulled a lot of content out as well. I haven't had a chance to check it out, and I saw and Lucas. If you guys didn't see his documentary from the Pro-Am, he's going to do a documentary of the Nationals. And his last documentary of the Nationals in 2021 was excellent. So I'm looking forward to all that content that's coming out from that as well. So go check out Wheel and Trigger. Hit that sub, like, and notification button. Slow as Fast RC podcast. Ran Out of Talent podcast. Go over there. Hit the sub, like, notification buttons for all those guys. Help grow these podcasts. Help us go. What's up, Sam W? How are you? With that said, Nitro's the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. I want to thank you all for all the continued support. And as soon as I find my outro, we're going to be going. Lefty is out. Ta-ta for now, everybody.